Hey guys, I'm Jacka, and we are at
the mall.
At the mall
in the city.
in New York Comic Con.
After New York Comic Con on Friday, so we just saw the Joker in the city, and that's why we're filming this review in the mall, because it's just easier while we remember everything.
Yeah, because
coming home.
We didn't have our notebooks, so we couldn't take any notes. So we want to do it now while it's like fresh in our heads.
That's why this is like horrible lighting. We're sitting on the floor of the mall, so sorry.
Sorry.
Not our usual background.
We'll talk a little bit spoiler-free in our New York Comic Con vlog, but spoiler-free thoughts, the Joker is fantastic. It's amazing. We were speechless, like blown away with everything. Yeah. The whole movie was
he did a phenomenal job. Joaquin Phoenix blew away. It was just,
it's such it's like an important movie too, in a way, I would say. Like there's some important themes in there, but it's also a very twisted movie. Like it's very twisted.
It is.
It's very complex. Like I'm telling you, like from like, we've taken a lot of like psychology courses and stuff, like we are like into that stuff, and it was just really interesting. Like Arthur as a character, it's just, like he's just so complicated and complex, and like learning some of his history, the background, and how he became to be the Joker that everybody knows from like the Batman movies and the Dark Knight movies. It's just really, it was a great story. It really was.
It was a really great story.
And I think that this is definitely going to be an Academy Award winner. It was just, like you could tell this movie is going to be talked about for a while, I would say. Like there's a lot of, we did say in our other non-spoiler review, but definitely like trigger warnings for depression, bullying,
or like
violence.
Trigger for you, like there is a lot of
it's a lot. This movie's a lot. It's a lot, and it's not for everyone. And I think that yeah, just know what you're getting yourself into. But I think that if you guys like watch the trailer and you guys enjoyed the trailer, you're in for a really like great movie. It was incredible. We were just, I think, like at the end, obviously we were clapping, and I think the whole audience was very taken aback too, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Like our audience that we were with, they were
I think everybody really enjoyed it.
They were stunned, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think A+. Like
A+, absolutely. Fantastic. Everybody go see it, and then
we're gonna talk right now.
Some spoilers. Right away, I think in the beginning of the movie, what was so interesting was there wasn't any dialogue for the first few minutes. It was all like action and like seeing what was happening, and you could just see all the emotions that were going on and going through Arthur's head through Joaquin Phoenix's performance. Like you were able to translate that he was not a happy clown. He's a clown who wants to bring people joy, but he just doesn't understand how to do it in a way. And like the first shot is him like crying
joy when he's like not happy himself. And
yeah, exactly.
Especially his facial expressions when in the beginning, right in the beginning, when
that's
he's
like the
trying
first
to make himself smile, and it's like he has this just pain look on his face, and it's like even though he's smiling, it just looks so like deformed and like not right and just like twisted and
very twisted.
Yeah, I think that in general though, his performance, like using his arms and just like
the dancing,
his facial expressions and his body language, like everything was just so like
artistic.
Yeah, and it told like so much more about the Joker's character than just like the dialogue and like.
Yeah, I would even say the music was such a huge part of it too. The music that he would dance to, some of it was like upbeat, some of the lyrics were very important to his character.
Well, like the song like That's Life.
That's Life, the smile when you're sad. That like there's just so much music really like helped translate to the audience in an artistic format, like how upset and sad his life was, and
his life was,
it was really sad. Like it was really hard to watch.
It was hard to watch. The whole like first half of the movie was basically like him getting kicked when he's down. It was really sad at the beginning when he's like dancing and stuff, and he's just doing his job holding the sign for the business, and the kids come out and they take his sign and they beat him up for fun, and it's
really awful.
Horrible.
It's so awful. It's so hard to see. And one of the things that I did notice in that scene, which was interesting, was like as like a clown, he's just like he's like dancing around, like holding up this sign, smiling like through the pain that we know that he is in from like the first scene, and people are just walking by him. Like nobody pays attention to him. They're just walking by.
There's that quote that's like, nobody ever really noticed me.
Yeah.
Until he started being violent and getting people to notice him in that way, and to remember him in that way by being this like crazy clown.
Yeah, you just watch him escalate, and like as this goes on, he just gets more and more like psychotic, and
because it pushes him and pushes him.
Yeah, and there were a lot of really great quote moments. Like there was the scene like later on in the movie when he's like writing down notes, like, and he has like this journal, which is where he like pours out like all of his emotions and his thought process and his jokes. It's like his joke book, he calls it, but they're not really jokes that are in it. And he, one of the quotes that was in it, which I thought was an interesting one, and it said something like, I think what's interesting about mental illness is that people expect you to act like you don't have one. And I just thought that was such an interesting way of looking at things, because it's so true, unfortunately, you know? And then there was the other quote when he leaves the job later on, when the thing is that like, don't forget to smile, and then he crossed out forget, so it just said don't smile, and as he's like dancing his way, like there was just certain moments in it that were so complex, that actually brought meaning to him. And I do think that I will say, like, there can be some politics. We're not gonna get into politics, but I can see there is like a little political message in the movie. I will definitely say that, and which is interesting. Like it's just such a complex storyline. I think that's why we enjoyed it so much.
I think like, because like the whole majority of the movie, we're sympathizing with him and we feel horrible for him, you know, when he gets beat up and like teared down by all these people around him, and you know, the guys at work are giving him a hard time, and like his boss is being an asshole. Like everybody around him is just so terrible to him, and nobody's like realizing what pain he's in, and nobody's helping him, and because of that, you know, you feel for him and you don't want him to go through that. And because we spent so much time like feeling like sorry for him, it was like you understand how he got to that point. Exactly. And obviously what he twisted, obviously what he did was so wrong and awful, but it just gives the viewers an understanding of it, because it just piled up, and seeing where it came from, it's just really, really sad. And I think it was interesting, the girlfriend that he had, the woman that he saw that was on the elevator. Oh my gosh, that was like a we did not see that coming, where he like basically imagined all of that, and he was delusional in that way, which makes sense because of the whole storyline with his mother, which I thought was really, really interesting. The whole storyline where like that was a good point. His mother, like he had thought that like he saw his mother in such a positive way, and like he was taking care of her, and he like idolized her. He wanted to be like that man figure in the house. And you even see that in that imaginary, when he had like that delusion, when he was watching TV and he imagined himself being on the show, and where he is this guy who's like taking care of his mom, and like everybody loves him. Exactly. And he wanted to be that, and unfortunately that wasn't his reality. His whole childhood he was abused, and his mom adopted him and did horrible things to him. Thomas Wayne was not his dad, and that wasn't his father. But that whole like storyline that fit in with Thomas Wayne, and then obviously with Bruce, and that even at the, I know like we're jumping to the end, but like that whole like thing, the whole scene at the end when obviously Thomas Wayne gets shot. Yeah, we knew that was coming too, from like all the other movies, and like just like the story of Batman. So, but it was just so cool, because like literally like shot for shot, it was the story. Like we saw the family huddled in the corner, and they were walking through the alleyway, and then the guy comes out, and it's done in like a slow motion in the midst of like a riot. And that was really sad, obviously, to say, but it was also like such a huge moment in the storyline plot wise, like for Batman.
So it was definitely cool to see that. I'm curious where they're going because I know Robert Pattinson was casted as Bruce Wayne, which is really cool.
That's interesting.
That's really cool for him.
Choice. We'll see how that. It's gonna be definitely interesting to see how he takes on that role. I'm excited for him though because we obviously we really loved him from Twilight.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But I'm curious how they're gonna do it because I don't know. We'll talk more about that later. But back to the woman in the elevator. So when she was in the elevator, you notice that he has like this bond with kids, which is interesting because I think that he sees like an innocence in the kids. You see that when he is on the bus and he's like trying to make this kid smile, and the mom's like really like rude to him.
And it almost snaps him back into like the reality of his life and like how he can't do anything right. He's just trying to bring happiness and he can't do that. And I think that also has to do with the fact that when he was younger, his mom always said like, you're gonna bring happiness, and like his laughter, like that was like his purpose or whatever. So he kind of like, that's why he's like chasing this like dream of being a comedian and stuff, because that's what he feels like his purpose is, and that's what he wants people to notice him. And yeah, I guess through the kids, like that's why it was really sad when he lost his job at the children's hospital. Even though
my God.
I mean, obviously he brought a weapon into the children's hospital that he shouldn't have had, but it's like all these little things kind of like added up and like just pushed him further and further from like off the edge.
Yeah, everything just piled up, and we see him when he's in that children's hospital and he is like smiling and he's making the kids laugh. The moment is just totally ruined as soon as that gun comes out and the reality of his condition sets in. And even his condition I thought was really, really sad, like the laughing and the way that people would look at him, and we see that really demonstrated really well in that scene when he's on the train and he's laughing, and these guys, these like rich men are being such an asshole to this girl on there, and I think he gets like this like nervousness and he just starts kind of laughing, and when the girl leaves she kind of just looks at him, and then those men come up to him and they start mocking him, and it's just the most rudest, like disgusting thing.
And it's twisted though, the way that like he explains it, like when he's on the Murray show, the way he explains like when he confesses that he did kill those 3 men, like the way he explains it is like they were horrible people, like, and that's why all those other people who like dressed up as clowns,
they were rooting for him.
They were rooting for it because they felt
they felt that way.
Yeah, they understood why he felt that way.
They wanted to have that person as like their spokesperson. They felt like a connection to this Joker. They saw themselves in him in a really messed up way.
They wanted to get justice in a way because like they felt like they were being taken advantage of by like the mayor and all of that. And it was just really horrible, like all of like what was going on in Gotham City. Yeah, it was just a mess.
It really was a mess, but it was. But again, it's such a twisted storyline because we know that he's a bad guy and we know that the stuff that he did was wrong. But it's just an interesting way of looking at things.
Well, it was literally like the whole like
it was an anti-hero arc. Yeah,
we literally like got to like feel horrible for him, and then we understood why he became the killer that he was.
Yeah, I thought that scene though, that was so well done, like visually wise. Like first of all, I will say the directing in this movie was really, really good. And that scene when he's on the train and the lights are flickering on and off, and then he's back in that situation, he's back in that corner where he's being kicked again, and it's literally like a parallel to the beginning of the movie, but this time he has a weapon on him, and he goes off, and it's awful, and it's really twisted. And then we see that he starts to get like a glory from it, like because of that weapon he started to be a comedian. And that was another really sad part too. When he was a comedian, he was trying so hard, and you see him up on that stage and he's just like laughing because he can't, like it's hard for him, you know, and
especially because like Murray was his idol.
Yeah,
he looked up to him, and the fact that he used him as like this punchline on his show and just made fun of him was just terrible.
Yeah,
and it's like
they took the footage and just mocked him. And it really, like, that's one of the messages I will say I really liked about this film, is how bullying can really affect people, and how you don't know what other people are going through in their life, and you need to be nice to people and be kind and be selfless. And so I thought that was an important message, like no bullying, like that kind of thing.
I mean, obviously he has other issues.
He had other issues, yeah.
Like, eventually he did go off of this medication.
Yeah, and then that's when it got...
Which is just twisted, because if you think about it, like, the reason why he went off of his medication was because the mayor had cut the funding for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just,
it's a mess.
Yeah.
It was just like a train wreck, like the whole way down. And like, again, you know, we're not obviously like justifying anything that he did. He was an awful
we're not trying to justify. We're just,
it's just interesting.
Yeah.
You know, again, we're into like English and like analyzing things. So that's,
I just think that it was really cool.
It was cool.
They made us sympathize with him, and
we love, you guys know, like if you guys have been following our channel for a while, you know that we love like that anti-hero arc and like villainous characters. So
I think that what makes a good villain is when you understand them and you understand why they're doing what they're doing and the way they are.
Exactly. One of the things that was definitely interesting to see in this movie was his brutality. As it grew, it just like escalated.
Yeah, it definitely escalated, but
kept going.
One scene where his friends show up because he got fired, and it was the guy that gave him the gun. Yeah, and that scene where he smashes his head in and stabs him with the scissors, and it was just that.
Oh my god, and he smashed his head like continuously against the wall, like. Oh,
I was so happy he let the other friend go though.
Oh my god, I was so scared about that.
I was so nervous when he was trying to get the door.
And then he couldn't get the
thing unlocked, and it was just like that was
and then
that was scary.
And then when he let him go, he gave him a kiss on the head and he said, "You're the only one who was ever nice to me." And I obviously again was wrong. It was just a sad moment. I thought that was a sad moment. And yeah, even like the way that he looks, like I can't get over Joaquin Phoenix's performance. Like the way that he acted.
I love when he was in like the whole Joker getup. He had like the green hair.
Yeah.
And then I mean, this is the ending. But like when he has like, the blood and everything, and like the whole that smile, that was like the scariest thing.
Oh my god, the smile, like right when the movie, and you think the movie's over, and then it obviously keeps going. But no, the Murray scene. I think it was just really sad how the parallel of he was gonna be on it because he was great. That's what he expected. And then to be on it as a joke. And then but he takes that and he owns it. He's like, when you introduce me, call me the Joker. That's what you called me. Call me that. And that's just his name. That becomes his persona. That's where the name comes from. And when he sits down, when he comes out with on the Murray show, and he kisses like the doctor, the other guest, and everybody's kind of like laughing at first. Everybody's like, okay, and then it gets more serious. They ask him for a joke, and then they start mocking him. Like they were really mean to him.
Well, that was the whole point of him being on the show. He didn't really care about him. He wanted to bring him on because he thought that it was going to get viewers. People loved him because they thought it was funny that he was being made fun of.
And he shot Robert De Niro. He shoots Murray like right in the face. We like jumped in the theater. Like that was like, we knew he was going to kill him, but the way that he did it was just so quick.
He spiraled
so fast.
Really quick. Yeah, he just went down.
Yeah, it was just, my mom was in that scene in like the back for the extra as background. And she said that they had to like continuously scream on set and then they like edited it in obviously, but like the way that the audience reacted to it, and then he just comes up to the camera and he's about to say like that's life, and then it like goes away, which and then obviously we see him in the cop car. And then that was probably one of my favorite scenes, I think. Like the whole ending.
I think that the ending scene is crazy when
the riot
accident, like the cars collide and they get him out of the cop car, and they're like worshiping him, and that's when like he does
they're
smile with the blood, and because they're looking up to him as like their leader,
their follower.
Like basically started all of it.
Exactly.
And, it's just so eerie.
It's very eerie. Like the way that he comes back, like it was a bad accident, but he just sits up on the car and he stands up on the cop car and he just like starts like dancing a little bit, and the cheers for him, it was just really cool to see that scene, and like how it kind of put together all like these riots that we saw, like the clown mask. It was like they finally found like their leader.
Yeah.
And it was like a celebration, these riots, and like, you know, the way he destroyed Gotham City. And then again, that's when Bruce Wayne, I thought Thomas Wayne as a character, he was really nasty too. I thought that he was.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't nice.
He didn't want anything to do with him though, because he blew him off as some crazy guy. Like he was.
But
like,
he didn't even like explain it like the right way. Like he told him, he's like, yeah, your mom was crazy. But like, I felt like he should have like sat down with him and kind of explained the situation.
He didn't have the time for that, and he didn't care.
Exactly, he didn't care. And even the way like Thomas Wayne, like his people treated Arthur when he was at the gate and he first meets Bruce. And it's such like an innocent moment. He's like showing him a magic trick, and obviously, like, yeah, this is creepy. Like this man is like doing like magic with your kid. Like it's weird. But the way that like the guy came up, he was just really, I didn't think it was necessary how mean some of them were to him.
We were kind of actually surprised. We were just talking about this when we first got out. We were talking about how we were surprised that he killed the mom, because initially we had thought that that was going to kind of be like
the catalyst
him into like going downhill and all of that.
Yeah, we thought that she was just gonna die.
Yeah, but yeah, when she was in the hospital, I figured that he was gonna get a call or something and she was gonna be dead and he was gonna just like
go crazy.
Freak out.
Yeah.
But yeah, him killing her when he found out the truth was brutal. Him suffocating her, and
yeah,
oh my gosh,
I think
it was so hard to watch.
Absolutely, and I think getting the story of it is what ended up being his real catalyst that pushed him over the edge. And that
finding out the truth,
the way that was done, the laugh, like as he's laughing, hearing about that, because that's just that's his condition. It was just so eerie. Like his portrayal was just eerie. Like he was creepy. He scared us at the end. Like he was a scary guy.
He really did scare me.
He scared us at the end.
But you know what? He did an amazing job doing it.
Exactly. That's a compliment for sure. When I thought the movie was over, I actually thought it was gonna end with
him on top of the car.
Him on top of the car, smiling like that. I thought it was gonna end like that. But then we see him in the psychiatric ward, and he has been caught, and we see him back with that psychiatrist.
But the whole ending when him walking out with the footsteps, like I wonder what that was about though, because
obviously he killed her, and I'm assuming he got out. That's what I think.
But then we see him like running, like going back and forth.
Back and forth, like did he find a way out? I don't know. So I'm interested to see what they're planning on doing next with this character, because he's really awesome to watch. He's terrifying. And he's like an awful villain, but it's just really cool. I'm curious where he's gonna go storyline wise with Bruce Wayne and how they're gonna connect it. And
yeah, I'm really curious too.
Anna Maria, what did you think of the movie? You got your jacket. You went to the mall, you got a jacket. What did you think of the Joker?
It was really good, just really violent, I will say. Like really graphic. So it won't be everyone's cup of tea, but it was like really, really, really good story-wise. So like it's down my routine.
Yeah. Alright.
So that's pretty much our thoughts on the movie. Let us know what you guys thought down below.
Yes, and let us know what your favorite part was. I'm curious what part you guys really liked. I think we said the end, but I also really like the dancing moments, the scenes that we got of him on the stairs and stuff. But yeah, and let us know if you guys know anything else about like future projects, like what they're doing with the Batman movies. Like I'm curious if they're gonna, I don't know. Let us know if you guys have any information about that. And yeah, all the links are down in the description box below.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye!